1. Arrival at the hotel. I never believed in ghosts. I never thought hotels could be haunted, either. But after what happened to me in room 306, I don't stay in hotels anymore. It was November of last year. I had to travel for work, a last-minute trip to a small city I had never heard of before. The company booked my stay at an old but well-reviewed hotel downtown. The kind of place that had been around for decades, with slightly outdated decor but a warm, welcoming atmosphere. It seemed normal, until I checked in. The woman at the front desk, a kind-looking older lady, smiled at me as I gave her my details. But the moment she glanced at her screen, her expression changed. Room 306? She paused. That's odd. I asked her what was wrong, and she quickly shook her head. Oh, nothing. It's just that we usually don't assign that room. She hesitated, then forced a smile. But everything should be fine. Here's your key. It was a digital key card, but it had an old-fashioned room number tag attached to it. 306. The strange atmosphere. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe it was under maintenance and had just been reopened. Maybe it was usually reserved for VIP guests. Who cared? I was tired and just wanted to sleep. The first strange thing happened when I stepped out of the elevator on the 3rd floor. The hallway felt off. It was slightly colder than the lobby, and though the hotel had soft instrumental music playing through speakers, the sound was almost muffled here. As if the air itself was heavy. When I reached room 306, I noticed the door looked slightly different from the others. The color was the same, but there were faint scratch marks near the handle. Like someone had clawed at it. I brushed it off as wear and tear, swiped my key card, and stepped inside. The room was clean, neat, and smelled of fresh linen. Everything looked normal, except for one thing. There was a chair in the middle of the room, facing the bed. An old wooden chair. Not part of the standard hotel furniture. The unsettling conversation. I called the front desk. The woman answered almost immediately. Yes, sir? I think housekeeping left a chair in my room, I said, keeping my voice light. Should I move it? There was silence on the line. Then she spoke, her voice lower. Is it facing the bed? A chill ran down my spine. Yeah. Another pause. Then, quietly, please don't move it. I laughed nervously. What? Why not? She hesitated, then said, It's just a tradition, sir. The guests in that room prefer it that way. The guests? Another silence. Then she quickly said, If you need anything else, let us know, and hung up. At this point, I was thoroughly unsettled. But I was also exhausted. So, trying to shake the eerie feeling, I took a shower, brushed my teeth, and climbed into bed. I left the chair where it was. The first night. I woke up at exactly 3:06 a.m. Not to a sound, not to movement, just an overwhelming feeling that something was watching me. The air felt heavy, thick, like the pressure before a thunderstorm. I turned my head slightly, and the chair was empty. But I swear to God, I saw something move in the corner of my eye. A shadow. Something had been sitting there. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The second night. By the next day, I had almost convinced myself it was my imagination. Almost. But when I returned to my room after work, something was different. The chair had moved. It was now closer to the bed. I know, without a doubt, that I hadn't touched it. I had even taken a photo the night before, just to reassure myself. Now it was a full 2 feet closer. I called the front desk again. The same woman answered. The chair moved, I said, my voice tight. She was silent for a long moment. Then, very quietly, she said, Did you touch it? No. Then you should be fine. A pause. Sir, if you're uncomfortable, I can switch your room. I exhaled in relief. Yes. Please. She clicked on her keyboard, then let out a small, barely audible sound. "I'm sorry, sir. It seems all other rooms are full tonight." I felt a wave of unease. "Are you sure?" "Yes." Her voice was apologetic. "But it's just for one more night. Try not to disturb anything." That phrase stuck with me, "Don't disturb anything." The final night. That night, I locked the bathroom door. I locked my suitcase. I even put my shoes against the closet doors, just in case. Then, I lay down and tried to sleep. 3:06 a.m. I woke up again. Heart pounding. This time, I didn't look. I kept my eyes shut, my breathing slow, pretending to be asleep. Because I knew, absolutely knew, something was in the room with me. I could feel the presence near the bed. The air was ice cold. Then, I heard it. A creaking sound. The sound of someone slowly standing up from a wooden chair. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just lay there, praying for morning. At some point, I must have passed out, because when I opened my eyes again, sunlight was pouring through the curtains. The chair? It was back in the middle of the room. The aftermath. I checked out as fast as I could. As I was leaving, the woman at the front desk gave me a knowing look. Before I could say anything, she whispered, "You didn't touch it, did you?" I shook my head. She smiled, a little sadly. "Then you'll be okay." As I walked out, I noticed something I hadn't before. Behind the front desk was an old newspaper clipping framed on the wall. The headline? "Mysterious Death in Room 306. The date was exactly 20 years ago. The article mentioned a man who had been found dead in his bed, eyes open, mouth frozen in a scream. The only other thing in the room? A single wooden chair, pulled upright beside his bed. I don't stay in hotels anymore. And if you ever find yourself in a room with an old chair facing your bed, don't move it.